The killing of George Floyd, it really hurt me, and it really made me mad, and it made me want to speak up for what I believe in.
Let me set something straight for you. All lives cannot matter until Black lives matter.
A Black Lives Matter rally on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Tiana Day, the 17-year-old co-organizer behind the protest.
I've always had it in me. Like, I've always had this burning fire that I wanted to change the world or do something or make some type of impact.
We are the future. We are the next generation that's going to be making these laws, that's going to be in charge of everything.
Huge march and protest last night in Oakland.
Two 19-year-old childhood friends coming together to create a movement.
There's more leaders out there. There's more people like us. And I really think everybody should have a say in their destiny.
Waste my time, waste my energy. I'm lucky if I ever find my inner peace.
For people that listen to my music to know, it's just like I'm just putting my soul out there, and just like I put my unfiltered like experiences and myself on there, and I want people to know like it's gonna be okay too. If you're going through some things, it's gonna be all right. I still see a lot of love, and I see a lot of tradition and culture when I look around. There's a lot of things going on right now. And especially in West Oakland with climate injustice, which is a big thing, and also just the homelessness crisis we have. But I really want to see our community come together.
In a way, this park has seen you grow up.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think of it. I kind of think of this park as an elder. The Infirmary Park is the home of this little Bobby Hutton Park. So, you know, that's the youngest Black Panther who was shot and killed by police. You know, there's so much history to this and so much significance of this in the context of Bay Area, in the context of the struggle for people's, you know, Black rights and activism.
When was the first time that you remember experiencing racism?
I would say probably like high school, when I went to this school called Bentley for a couple years, and just the microaggressions, like seeing how the difference in people, like from where the way I was raised, and you know, because they grew up on the other side of the tunnel, and so it's a different social dynamic there, and it's kind of more like wealthy, rich white kids, and I've kind of felt like I felt a lot of the microaggressions and just like it's a different thought process. Seeing firsthand, you know, I mean, especially what happened with Oscar Grant, and then just my family just having that influence on me about social justice. And like, I just texted Xavier after watching the video of George Floyd getting killed. Yeah, it's just a lot of pain in my heart, really. And then I had to text him like, yeah, we got to organize this. Like, I want to organize a march.
Me as a Black man growing up, I've always known that this country was a twisted, and I felt like I knew that at some point I would have to try and make a difference in my a community, and I felt like at this time this was my time to do it. Like, this was the beginning. Me and Akil were 4 years old, and it was at pre-K at St. Leo's, the grade school, which is actually like around here. And Akil was crying because his mom had left. And so then it was like me, Josiah, I think Trenton that like came to you and like comforted him. I would say this: I've never felt like a normal 19-year-old. Like I've always tried to differ of myself from other people, whether it be in leadership, acting, film, clothing. Like I've always a differ of myself. So I wouldn't say I feel like a normal 19-year-old, but I would say that any 19-year-old can do what I have done. My mom is an attorney. She has always taught me, showing me like just a small percentage of that this country thinks that it's a disadvantage of being black. I was like 11 years old. I bought it, and as I was walking out with, I think it was Oreos, as I was walking out, there was this white woman who didn't work there, who came in and said, "Why are you stealing this? That's not good. You have to put it back." And I was like, "I paid for this." And it took the clerk to say, "Ma'am, can you please leave him alone? He paid for this." And the fact that she, thought that I didn't, just really says something. I highly doubt that if it was a white child, that she would have stopped him. Just small things like that. I've always known that it could happen to me, but I think what really intensified that pain is the fact that in that moment I realized no matter what you do, if they feel the need to take your life that day, then they very well can. I just think it was crazy to me when I started seeing like people like in those houses back there, opening all their windows, and I started to see like people in the street like that was completely filled. There were people all down that street and all down that side of the street.
What do you think that more youth are rising up right now?
We're just tired of being tired.
We have the power to, so through social media, and we're more educated and we're more aware of what's going on right now. We really sparked a lot of like protests, and across the country, I feel like, because at first people were just a lot of tweeting about stuff, and that was the time when people, but now there's actions all over like the Bay and stuff.
They just took over the northbound lanes of the Golden Gate as well.
H30, they took over the northbound lanes of the Golden Gate as well.
And you still don't know how many people showed up.
One police said 20,000, someone said 50,000, and someone said over 100,000. I was like, I don't know about that, but maybe. Like, you just have no idea. Like 4 miles straight, like people were like body to body. We've created a friendship that I know is gonna last a lifetime over this amazing thing that we did together. This park, we used to like come over here and play with me and my little sisters, but I haven't, the really last time I came here was for the first protest I ever did.
How old were you when that happened?
Oh, it was 3 days before the Golden Gate Bridge protest. Before this, I was such a normal teenager. I was doing whatever my friends did. I was not involved in politics. I was not involved in any kind of activism. I was very just like doing whatever, like getting through the day. Can't wait to graduate. Can't wait to get out of San Ramon.
in some ways my parents sheltered me because they thought, we've made it to this nice community and, she won't face the type of adversity like my dad did when he was growing up in Richmond, and my mom grew up in South San Francisco, so they come from completely different environments than like where I am from. So I feel like they thought that if I grew up here, I wouldn't have to face those problems, but they still affect every single Black student in America.
What was that first tweet that you noticed and you said, we need to speak up?
The first one was honestly one of my really close friends. She was a freshman at the time, I believe, and she made a video saying a racial slur. She said the N-word with a hard R, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like my little sister figure. Like she literally came to my house all the time. Like I would give her rides after I helped her make the cheer team. Like she was super close to me, and I was like, the problem is not that she's racist, it's that she doesn't understand and she's not educated and she doesn't know what the word behind what the meaning behind this word is. And it's not just in my community either, because I had people reach out from neighboring cities like Dublin and Pleasanton, and there were some people from Danville. There was someone from Washington who saw my tweet and was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just telling you right now, like don't post this or anything, but I've used racial slurs before too, but you've totally changed my mind on it. And I was like, what? How am I, little old me, 17-year-old from this small town in California, doing, like, how are people just realizing this through what I'm doing?
When would you say was the first time that you felt discriminated against?
My third grade teacher actually, when she told me in front of the whole class, did you do your multiplication facts? And I was like, no, I couldn't study them with my parents last night. They were both at work. And so she asked the other Black kid in the class, did you study your multiplication facts? And he said, no, my parents were at work as well. And so she didn't ask anyone else the question. She just asked us, and she said, okay, well, you two are gonna stay in during recess and you're gonna stay in during lunch and you have to practice your multiplication facts. And forgive my language, she literally said word for word, like verbatim, she said, they must want you guys to grow up to be retarded. I'll never forget that day. And I know I talk to that kid still all the time, and we're like, we'll never forget that day. Like it was a day that changed a lot for us. And I'm scrolling through Instagram at the same time, just kind of checking my feed, waiting for things to pick up. And I saw there was a protest gonna be held at the Golden Gate Bridge. And I was like, this is gonna be so cool, like a Golden Gate Bridge protest.
Take us back to that day that you were driving through the Golden Gate Bridge and you thought, hey.
Yeah. So I was like, well, what if we did the Golden Gate Bridge? I thought it would be an amazing idea. And then, so I went on goldengate.org and I just said, hi, like, I'm wondering if you guys would allow us to do a protest. Like, I don't know how many people, this is for Black Lives Matter.
When you initially thought about doing this march, you didn't want to lead it. Why was that?
Of course, well, I'm obviously not part of the Black community, I'm white, so I think it would just be disrespectful to, obviously I think white people's voices should never be louder than those who are actually being oppressed. I feel like a lot of youth are realizing, like, you have to give the mic to the people who are genuinely in it, and that's why it's so empowering, right? And so I was looking at the comments for more details, and I saw Mimi comment, and she was like, I obtained the permit for this, like, this is my flyer, but it might not go on, like, I might have to cancel the event because we don't have a leader from the Black community because she is a white girl, so she didn't feel like she could take the lead and she could lead the protests across the bridge because it's not her place and it's not her struggle. So I saw it and I was like, she literally said it like 30 minutes before, and I saw it and I was like, I'll do it. A bridge signifies bridging two things together and closing a gap. And for us, we want that gap to be the gap of equality, and we want to make sure that we are taking people who weren't educated in the past and educating them and creating that bridge to bridge the people together and really create like a safer society.
I think it takes everybody. I mean, no matter if you're young or old, I think it takes just humanity in general. So I don't think it's up to us, but I think it's up to everyone that is still on this earth to fight for what is right.
Somebody said Oakland's proud of you, and that was really like
Right.
Like I think that was one thing that touched me.
I hope people realize that you can come from such different backgrounds, you can grow up in different areas, but if you have the same common goal and same values, same morals, like you can really create friendship with anyone.
If there was a way that you could describe this movement, what would it be?
Fearless.
A fearless revolution of the youth, of the Black youth.